Little JYD up in here real quick.
Yo, ball so hard.
Ball so hard.
You're balling so hard. I
What
balled so
happened?
hard.
Oh,
I
no. Oh, my head. He balled so hard.
Balled so hard. Nigel, I love you. How are you, sir?
Oh, man, I'm good, Chris. I love you, too. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I got my Skeletor He-Man Vogue shirt going on.
Oh, I like that one a lot. I like that one a lot.
Too.
I got my Johnny Cupcakes baked to order Raptors championship shirt. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that's pretty new too, isn't it? I mean, it's a year old now, but
Yeah. So it's pretty fresh. I mean, I bought two. One's still in the plastic. You know what I'm saying? eBay.
Yo, well, you know what's really in the plastic? That was a bad transition. I was just trying to. But our episode of Bit Playas, am I right?
Yeah, dude, you're right.
Oh man, I don't know. That was a bad transition. But you know what? Welcome everybody. Thank you for watching our Bit Playas viewing party. My name is Kris Siddiqi.
My name is Nigel Downer.
And we do our viewing party every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4:20. But today we are watching our episode called Privilege Theater, directed by our dear friend, Darrell Faria.
Oh, exciting. And you know what? We just want to make sure that you know that this was made for you nerds, okay? All you nerds of color and all you people of color. We made Bit Playas for those people that aren't represented on screen, not only in Canada, but around the world. So we did a thing, we made a thing, and now we're rewatching that thing.
That's right. So once again, thank you for joining us, everybody, and please enjoy Privilege Theater. And we're back. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed what you were watching because we certainly enjoyed making it. Sorry, that came off harsh. My apologies.
It's a little too aggressive, man. Like, I mean, yeah. You know what I mean? Maybe they enjoyed it and we enjoyed it too, you know?
You're right. You know what? Totally. We super enjoyed making it and we were so thankful that you guys are watching still. Is that better? Nice? That's a bit better?
Yeah, that's better. I mean, at the end you were still, and it was like,
I know, yeah.
Oh my God, you guys sarcastic, but.
Yeah, I kind of leaned into it. You know what, though? You know who could help us? The director of that episode of Privilege Theater. Everybody, please slap your hands together for our dear friend, Darrell Faria, man. Darrell Faria. Turn that camera on, Darrell Faria. Darrell, there he is.
No, you guys, no.
Bro, come on, no, man.
No,
yeah.
Please, you don't have No, Nigel, you can continue. Chris, you don't have to. But like more, like faster, like louder. Okay. I mean, we don't have to, but you know. Sorry, to be clear, when you announced me, I honestly was like, if I had like wrestling level, and like I imagined, like, remember when like Chris Jericho came to the WWE?
Like all the lights would go out in the stadium?
Yeah, and he had that. Nigel knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like fireworks and everything. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, too. Come on, man.
No, but like Nigel's face, like he hadn't heard someone reference Chris Jericho's 2000 entrance on Raw.
Finally.
Like, yeah, that's right. How are you guys? I, first of all, could listen to you enter all day. So we should just, I can just sit here as a still image and you can continue.
No, we don't. We talk to each other all the time. We want to talk to you because we barely get to talk to you. How are you doing, bro? You're looking good. Look at that beautiful beard, man. How long has it been? How long is that? How old is that?
It's about like 14 inches. Oh, do you mean in time?
Either or,
How
man.
long is it in time?
Yeah.
No, it's long, man. It's like I don't think I've touched it since the quarantine. It started as like, I'll keep it long because there's a role that I want to, like, there's some stuff that I want to shoot with like long beard, and then like 3 and a bit months went by, and I haven't shot anything. I've just been growing this beard, trying to get married in a couple months.
This is my 13, 14 inches. This is my quarantine beard. This is all I got, man.
I don't hate it. I feel like we could Velcro our faces together.
No. Chime in with the rookie facial hair up in yours.
Nigel, have I seen you with facial hair though? Ever?
No, dude, I can't. It takes way too. Like I need like quarantine times at least 7. Like I need
no one
a
needs
lot
that.
of time.
No, I don't mean to block you, but no one needs 7 quarantines. Please.
Listen, I'm trying to put it in
Read the room,
perspective.
Nige.
Try to put it in perspective, time-wise. You know what I mean?
Let me ask
Yeah,
this
baby.
though, Nigel. When it
Yeah,
grows
baby. Yeah,
in,
baby.
would it grow in thick? Like, would you have a big thick?
No, I think it
After
would be
7 quarantines.
I think it would be very fine. I
Mm.
can't connect my sideburns to the chin here like this. I can't connect that. That doesn't
Yeah.
go. So it
Right,
just
right,
kind of
right.
stops right here.
This is
You know
just
what I
big
mean?
beard love for you, D. Big beard love.
Thanks, baby.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you
baby.
got it.
Let's just do the whole thing on the beard. If you guys want to talk about beard, I could talk about oils. I could talk about fragrances.
Oh,
You know me?
All right.
okay.
I'm here if you want to talk about the beard.
We're gonna move
we
on.
just-
Listen, Darrell, thank you so much, man, for contributing to the show, to the series. You did a bang up job, and I think what I want to tackle first is the treatments that you had, especially for privileged theater. Like, what was your approach to jumping into that episode? Because that's a pretty dense episode. We have a lot of jokes in it, but we tackle a very serious subject matter in terms of white privilege and how that can be seen and how that's expressed, and how Kris and I can combat that, or how we tackle that, especially in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, baby. I mean, I love that question. It's so loaded and so full. And I think ultimately, and we've all worked together before, pre-bit and now post-bit as well, but like, I mean, I think it was like a lot of the work feels like it was done for me, like this is stuff that I think about, stuff that I talk about, stuff like when I read the whole show before we had assigned episodes, I was like, this is all encompassing of how I've been feeling for a long time, which is why I think the show on the whole is such a great look for people of color. I mean, there's been wonderful strangers that have watched it on Twitter, been like, I've never felt so represented in my entire life, and it was amazing to be a part of that. But I think sometimes you just gotta let people of color make their stuff, and it'll actually just express how we feel and how we do, right? So but as far as jumping into it, technically, like, I'm a huge prep nerd. Like, my prep is like the funnest, most I just like, it's so nerds. Like, I wish I could, like, my financial advisor is like, oh, let me share the screen, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to share the screen and show my nerd, like, so many nerd diagrams and stuff. I love that. That's a big part of, like, I came from music videos, and when you're directing music videos, you've got like 4 minutes, but you can't just make the 4 minutes be the same thing for 4 minutes. That's not how to create. You've got to, like, excite your audience every like 6 to 8 seconds in a music video. And so that's kind of where plotting and diagramming stuff like you're seeing, Nigel, with the police brutality, coming up with little gags and working with Kris and you on like what we're all trying to say, having like little gags within the greater gag of, a black guy having like a song and dance with a bunch of cops, white cops, you know what I mean?
Dude,
Yeah.
totally. I totally know what you mean, man. That's it.
But I mean,
thanks, D. That's all we need.
Oh, cool.
No. I'm joking. Look.
I just get up, no pants.
Yeah.
Like, what the?
Yeah, but, let's turn your camera off.
No, but like, listen. Let me ask. Let's. I'd love to sort of hear more about, like, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what I was saying about, like, when we finally get to just take the reins and make our shit. I feel like you guys didn't quite set out to make the most, progress, like a woke, for lack of a better word, show. We just wanted to talk about video games and how we nerd out, right?
I mean, I think the beauty for us was, like, when we were doing it, we got this note from CBC at one point that was just like, hey, like, go bigger. You can go bigger. And we were like, okay. So we just started going big. And especially for that one, what I loved about that whole episode was based on a conversation that our buddy Mark Andrada was texting me. He was texting me real dialogue that these two white dudes were sitting in the theater. And we basically just took the language and the words from that conversation that Mark Andrada was overhearing and made it real life. And that was just the instigation of, like, okay, well, let's just dream about our little dream visions of what our privilege would be. So I think it was the fun of being in the theater. You know, I think, you know, D, we always talk about this too. It's like, let's just make what we want to make. And I think too, and Nigel and I were talking about this the other day, was like, you know, if it were a nationally televised TV show, I don't know if we could have said the things that we could have said or did the things that we wanted to do, you know? There might have been a bit more, oh, well, I'm worried about this or this. So it almost felt like a gift, a blessing in disguise getting this web series so we can go, you know what? We can now say and do anything we want.
Totally.
And it was so fun to just be in that theater, do the things that we did, be in that other part where we got to film the airport and we got to film the outside by the water. And then seeing it all come together was like, it was really, I think that's D, where you, Darrell, I keep calling you D, sorry, for the audience. I'm in love with Darrell, so I call him D, okay?
Do it.
But it's also that vision. And what you brought to it was going, okay, well, this needs to be different than that. And the theater needs to look different than this dream sequence. And this, even with Catherine's dream sequence of her commercial, you are so just very aware of the visuals. And I get the feeling like you see it all in your head, because you're also an editor as well. So you can see it pretty clearly in your head before we go to camera. And then you go, well, this is what I want to get because I know it'll fit into this little jigsaw puzzle. Bop, bop, bop.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, let me ask you this. Who are your favorite visual directors? Like, who are those ones that really have like a very defined style that you go, oh, I love watching their movies?
You know what's funny? I'm just gonna, like, this is obviously one of those filmmaker questions that I'm like, oh my god, I didn't have time for, I'm not prepared. What do I say? I'm just gonna default and say like, Martin Scorsese. No, but I'm just gonna go off of something that I've been just recently. I rewatched Get Out and Us, and Jordan Peele is one of these directors. I don't know that this is like necessarily visually sort of what you know, as far as visually, you know, anything he does is like kind of a direct influence on me. But it is like, you know, I tend to see like the timeline of a movie or an episode or a, you know, commercial that I'm directing or whatever as like a space, and then within that there's like it's either going to be all just gray, which is when you're like, oh, it all looks the same and that was kind of cool, you know, or it's going to be colorful and vibrant, and even if it's in one location, you still find a way to excite your audience either visually or emotionally, spiritually, whatever, within that timeline. And with Get Out and Us, I feel like Jordan Peele just explores like the crap out of a just concise theme, a concise vision. He's like it's like he's writing an essay on it, you know what I mean? And there's a thesis, and then there's all these arguments and all these like, you know, conclusions that he's made within those arguments, and then he's got like and therefore this, and like you're kind of left with this package. So yeah, man, as far as like storytelling goes, I think that's someone that I think to myself, like, this guy knows what he's doing a lot. And was it you, Kris, that we were saying maybe you didn't like Us that much? Was that something that you said?
Yeah, you know what, I remember watching it and I just wasn't as bowled over by it. And it wasn't that I didn't like it, it was just it's very thick with details. So after it I was like, oh, this is deeper than Get Out was, because Get Out came out of nowhere and that surprised the shit out of me, and I was like, oh, I love this. Us had more ideas sewn into it, so I needed more time to step back and go like, what's the tethering, and there's people under the ground, and how they did, and there's the whole Hands Across America. So like I loved all the idea, and I think that's also what I love about his movies, is that there's just deeper ideas to chew on, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Now, do you have thoughts on these?
Yeah, I loved both movies, and I think you're right, Darrell. Like, Jordan Peele just does this, like, it is an essay. You're watching something that you know already out the gate with just the intro, just because he harkens to more of the classical films, like, I dare say like the 70s and early 80s, where we see all the credits and a full song, so a full 3.5 minute song, and just like a car driving down a road, just like wind through people's hair.
And I would even say that's like very Hitchcockian. Hitchcock does that with all his movies. Yeah.
Totally. So you're getting that whole sequence before the movie even starts. Now we're talking about in this modern age where we hit the ground running, and it's like cold open, right? And then you don't know who's in the movie until like the very end, and then it's just and then there's another scene. But my point is that artistically, visually, as Kris had mentioned, I love it, and I think his movies do deserve those deep dives. So Kris, I think you nailed it as well in terms of how Us is just a little bit thicker, and you mentioned like there's a lot more things sewn together.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned sewn together, and you said something else. I think style. And those two things want to take me right to another question I have for you, Mr. Faria, is that you are a man of style. You are a man that is put together very well, as we see. And I love that this guy's like, shout out to Space Jam 2. That's happening. We know it's happening.
Yeah,
my question to you is, you wear a lot of oversized clothing. And so that's what I learned about you the most, as well as you're not afraid of patterns and stuff. What's your favorite oversized item, or what is your favorite item in your wardrobe? Maybe give us like your top 3.
Okay, that's definitely a question that I did prepare for. So that's that's what I'm like. What if he asked about my oversized clothes? I just thought this. Okay, so Shannon, my fiance, and I just moved into like this new place, and it's in Spadina and Queen area. And downstairs is Effers and Frank, Nigel.
Yes.
Effers and Frank is like this like vintage store where it's just got like.
Yo, I know it too.
Chris, nobody.
Sorry.
There
Yeah,
it goes again.
Sure.
It's like, dude. It's like Siddiqui. Just give us a second.
I know.
Yeah,
I interrupted. Sorry. Please keep going.
Anyway, it's a vintage store. So I copped this like this championship Bulls like sweater. I'm just gonna go get it. Whatever. Sorry, deal with it. This is happening.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to.
First time a guest has ever walked out. So yes.
You brought up that hot topic, man. That's a big one.
That's on me. But okay, perfect.
The greatest way. Oh,
so it's like Jordan. It's like some like hanging up like J's, and it's got
in the locker room. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how gorgeous. It's got these like beautiful rips with the character-y rips. You know what I mean?
It just means it's worn a bunch, man.
Just means it's worn, but this is like one of my favorite like oversized joints that I'm doing right now. This one that I'm wearing right now is from our friend Ennis. You guys know
Yeah.
as Mercer. He was in New York, and he was like, he FaceTimed me one time from this vintage store, and he's like, dude. And I'm like, this was like 4 years ago when FaceTime still kind of wasn't a thing, and it was all choppy. And he's like, I'm about to go downstairs. I'm in this vintage store, and I'm about to go downstairs. They have a Space Jam pop-up. We're going to pick something for you, and I'm going to bring it back. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So this is like legit from the Space Jam era, and I'm very, very proud of it.
Oh, that's gorgeous, man.
Yeah,
Thank
man,
you
it
for
looks
asking,
fantastic.
Nige.
Of course.
It's like my dream to come on a show and talk about this shit. You know?
Yeah.
Look, that's a real thing. I'm so excited that you asked.
You're very welcome, my friend. You're very welcome.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, Darrell. What's your favorite food?
Okay, all right. Look, my mother just recently said to me, she said,
Okay.
Darrell,
Yeah.
you have my chicken, my Vindaloo?
Vindaloo. Yeah, Vindaloo.
Vindaloo.
Yeah.
I just made my mom's, like, I don't know, you guys know this, and maybe I'll just say something that I think you both know, but for perhaps the audience that are going, oh, really? They'll be excited to hear that this is something that happens. Indian people, we don't make like, hey man, mom, are you making chicken tikka tonight? Are you making butter chicken? We just have like curries. They're just like, mom's like, I don't know, I made a curry. There's no real recipe. There's no real measurements. There's just like,
It's meat in a sauce. Eat it.
meat in a sauce. So mom makes this like riblet, like it's like ribs, like pork ribs. But they're just like cut up all small and shit, and she makes this curry. But recently, given the quarantine, we've been inside a lot, and we've just been cooking at home and blah 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 blah. So, I got her to give me like a Ziploc bag of her like masalas. Oh my god, I've just been just been at home eating. Like I could do 7 more of these quarantines. You feel me? Like,
See, that's what I'm talking about.
no,
Time
it
for
makes sense.
context.
It makes sense now that.
Call back. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm like really, really excited about making food at home and eating Indian food. Oh, by the way, Gandhi, that Queen and Bathurst is going away. That's a thing. It wasn't able to pay. You know what I mean? Like the quarantine thing. It has to shut down. So I think next week on Tuesday is its last day. So if you guys want to get your row down, it's like one of the best rotis, and it's the best roti in the city.
I mean,
fight anybody.
I think okay, all right, we believe you, and I think we should all do that. I think we should all just go have a distant roti and just hang out. You know what I mean?
Let's sit in 32-degree sun and just eat a fucking shrimp korma, super spice.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that we're in a circle in Bellwoods and we're good. You know what I'm saying?
That's all we need. We'll get some White Claw and toss it back.
Get some in there and we're good.
We're so young.
I was going to say we gave a big shout out to Mark Andrada, who was in this episode, but we also have to give a big shout out to the other guests we were working with, our dear friends, Alex Tyndall and Chris Wilson, who played those 2 white dudes, I mean, perfectly.
Nigel, I cut you off. Did you want to jump?
No, not at all.
I just want to say, like, something about working on this show is, and working with LaRue ever, is that you get to work with the best in comedy. And I've talked to a lot of other production companies about this, and that's a thing that LaRue does so well that you're just gonna hit. You're gonna hit. Like, there's people like you guys know this, but I'll share with the listener that there's like gigabytes of those 2 just going off.
Yes.
And this is something I learned very early in my career, where it's like, look, just if you've got something special on set, just roll on it and you'll figure it out. You'll find a way, if it's valuable, or if it's not, who cares, right? And I don't know, man. There's a special duo in those guys.
So fantastic. That and the work of Miss Catherine King as well, coming in and adding her voice to that. She's a comedian from Montreal as well.
She is, yeah, super talented, and like just has also her own acute vision, and Chris, maybe you remember, or there was email exchanges of how we wanted to sort of delicately handle that particular vignette, and she weighed in, and she was kind enough to sort of help us balance out some of the jokes and find the humor in it. Like, yeah, she's fantastic.
And also a big shout out to one of our executive producers, Karen Sang, who's been with us since day one. She gave us the inspiration for that. Nigel and I were looking for, we only have our experiences to draw off, but we were like, we need to get a female of color in here. What does an Asian female feel that her privilege could come from? And that was just such a perfect, poignant little window that we could show. So we're blessed to have that voice as well.
100%. And again, like, just it was so easy to work towards something that we all knew what we wanted to do. Like, there were no major roadblocks in like kind of getting there and expressing 3 very different visions or points of view of 3 very different people of color.
Yeah. So
that was awesome. That was amazing. I also just love that.
Darrell, listen, you're amazing, and we also just love you. All right. So listen, man, we gotta cut. I want to get that roti in the sun. You know what I mean? Listen, we gotta bounce, my dude. But it was so great to hang out, and so great to get your insight and your knowledge into what you put into the episodes, and how much blood, sweat, and tears and fashion that you put out there. So thank you, man. We will work again soon. So Darrell, we appreciate you, my dude.
I love you, buddy. I love you so much.
Anytime. Bless you both. Okay.
You got it.
Dude. Take care. Peace.
See you soon, brother.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, man. What a beautiful man that guy is, eh?
Yeah, right. And then it just makes me think, we were truly blessed and are truly blessed to have so many people backing us, and so many people that creatively and inspirationally and just like productively just like made the web series made Bit Players what it was, and it's just so fantastic to go back and just like to review it again and just go back in the archives and watch it again. It's great. It's
100%.
fantastic.
You know, I also realized too, Nige, that last week or the week before that was our year anniversary from day one of filming. So happy anniversary, buddy.
Happy anniversary to you too, my friend.
Oh, thanks, pal. Happy anniversary to everybody at LaRue Entertainment. We love the living hell out of you. To Darrell, Faria, to everybody. We also want to give another big, huge shout out to our dear friend, Dan Gallia, who's putting all this stuff together for us. This guy is one of the loves of my life. So a big round of applause to Dan Gallia. And keep watching. This is not the end. We're going through our whole series. So join us every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4:20 and keep watching Bit Playas with us. Ain't that right, Nige?
Oh, man, you got it. And you know what? If you can't get enough of Bit Playas or just want more information, don't forget you can hit us up on all the socials, and we are at Bit Playas on all of them. So you got Facebook, you got Twitter, you got Instagram, you got Twitch. All of that stuff is there. And don't forget, if you want to rewatch some of those episodes or just watch some episodes for fun, have it on in the background, go to CBC Gem. You'll find Bit Playas there. And for all you Americans, make sure you check out Amazon because it's out there.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Love y'all. Peace.
Love y'all.
Stay safe.
Peace, peace. Mwah.
We still the champs.
Yo, He-Man and Skeleton.
On behalf of myself, Nigel Downer, and Kris Siddiqi, and LaRue Entertainment, and the whole cast and crew that created Bit Playas, I'd be remiss if I didn't discuss or talk about Black Lives Matter. This is a huge movement that's happening right now that needs to happen right now to battle systemic racism. Police are killing Black men and Black women, and I think right now is the best time, the right time, to do your research, read books, watch documentaries, donate, help with charities, or even protest or march, whatever you need to do to help. Because Black lives matter.